So hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Sunny, your host, and today we are here with a new quick start video. So I recently came across with this library called as LIDA, which is nothing but it's about automatic generation of visualization and infographics with LLMs. So it will make use of large language models and it will help you to visualize your data, and that too in few clicks. So let's see that what it says. So LIDA actually mainly has four modules, which is a summarizer, goal explorer, VISGENERATOR, that is for visualization, and infographer. Now let's try to see that, okay, what this all is. Now here they have also provided a video where you can just check what can you do with the LIDA, but I'm not going to go into this video. We will just try this tool and see that what it can do. So these are some of the things that it can perform. But here is the system architecture. So what happens here is, let's say if you provide it some CSV file, or even it accepts other form of files as well, like JSON. So the first module it has is summarizer. So what it will do, it will provide you a summary of the data set first of all. And then what it will do, it will try to generate some goals, like what are the possible goals with respect to this data that you have provided. Now after that, it gives you, there is another component that is called as visual generator, which will generate the graphs for you. And at the end we have infographer, which will actually generate some style infographics that you see normally in marketing like contents. So this is, I think they say that it is still work in progress. If you check their GitHub, they say it's a WIP, but up till this part, that is visual generator, it is working absolutely fine. So right now I'm just running this application in my local system. I will just let you know that, okay, how you can do the setups. So before that, let's see that, okay, what is possible with it, and we will see the setup at the end. So let's click on this demo part on the top. And now if you see that it says that LIDA provides a conversational interface for automatic generation of grammar agnostic visualization and infographics from data. Now what is grammar agnostic means? What is it, what type of visualization you are looking for, or what library you want to select. So here they have these four options as of now. So you can select Seaborn, Matplotlib, or anyone else. So that is one part. The next thing is that generation settings. So what generation settings you need. So let's say if I click on this, so you will see that the default model selected is OpenAI. So I'm also going to use OpenAI, and the other three are available also. Let's say if you want to go for other provider like Google for Palm, and then Cohere and Hugging Face. So these are the options also you can choose. Then there is a model type, which model that you want to use. So here are the possible models that you can try with. So right now I'm just leaving it to the default, that is Turbo 0301. And now, as you all have seen already, that while using OpenAI, so what are the maximum number of tokens that you are looking for, temperature, number of messages, and so on. These are the some of the other settings that you can tweak about, but I will leave it to the default. Next is, then you can upload your file if you have, otherwise you can try their own data. But the fun is that you try your own, try this with your own data. So right now, like I cannot actually upload my own data set here because it's private. So I will just use some open source data set. So let's try it, since it's a new tool, let's try it with some simple data set. So right now I have in my system some of the data sets, let's say Iris. So if I open it, so you can see that as soon as I upload it, it has already started providing you some summary here. So let's see what summary it has, like sepal length, sepal width, and so on. And even you can see it started generating the visualization. So let's first of all look into stay at the data summary first of all. So when you see the data summary, so it provides you all the column names first of all, and you can even check the samples. Like some samples it has already picked. So if you click on any of them, so you will find out that it is already providing you some sort of samples here. Then even like it is also providing some values here, like what are the unique values we have, what is the minimum and maximum. So it's kind of data description it is already providing. I think we used to do that already in pandas data frame. So that is the first step that we do. So this is done automatically for you here, and you are also able to see some samples here. Next is, if you want to check the raw summary, so if you click on this, so it will simply show you a JSON form of the same thing that is represented here visually. So let me close this, and then let's look at the goal exploration. So it has some basic goals that is already that it is already identified by seeing the data. So it says that what is the distribution of sepal length, how do the sepal length and sepal width vary with variety, what is the distribution of petal length, and how does the petal length vary. Next is what is the relationship between petal length and petal width, and so on. So it is trying to identify these common goals. So these are the top 5 goals that it has identified. Now you can see that it is the first one is already selected, and that is also presented to visual generation. So here you can even ask your own query as well. So right now it is saying that what is the distribution of sepal length. So sepal length, and it is already generated. This visual generation is already there. And you can see that it is also showing you the code on the side, that is on the right side, Python code, as well as the on the left hand side, it is also showing you the visualization. So if you just click on this, so you can see that it is properly visualized. It has sepal length and then count, and then it has providing you some histogram, as well as it is also marking the what is the mean and median of it, and even it is providing you like KDE plot here. So that's great, right? So this is really actually super fast. Now let's say if you want to select some any other goals, so you can simply click here on these. Let's say how do the sepal length and sepal width vary with variety. So if I just click on this, so it will simply plot some scatter plot. So you can see that the variety we have is the 3 classes, Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. And this is sepal width versus sepal length. They have plotted this graph, and just to show you that what could be the, like, what is the relationship between them. Okay. So as you can see that versicolor and virginica is like, they are almost clustered together, and that's all. So in the same way, you will see there are some other options as well, like other goals. But if you feel like, no, I want something of my own, so definitely you can try with yours. Let's say here it is asking for like what is the relationship between petal length and petal width. Then we have okay, so let's say if I copy this, and so when you actually click I copied it, actually it got clicked. So let me copy, let me keep it here, and then instead of sepal length and sepal width, let's say petal length and petal width, I will just simply write sepal length and sepal width, and let's see that what we get. So if I click on this, so it is generating, is working on generating interesting visualization for this goal or query. So here it is, you can see that it is able to plot the graph between sepal length and sepal width. Now let's say if you want to, instead of sepal length and sepal width, let's say if I want relationship between sepal length and petal length. So let's see that what it does. So here it is. I think we all of us, I think we have seen this kind of graph. So that's why I took this data set, because we are already familiar with this, or most of us are really, or already familiar with this one. So you can see that it is giving us a familiar graph. That means it's working fine as of now. And it is even providing you the code, and just see the quality of the code. It is providing you the type annotation, and even it is very properly formatted. So that's great. And now let's look into the other steps here. So let's say if you are not okay with the data here, so you can just simply ask it that, okay, change this, change that, and it will just simply use LLMs and try that. So we will try this at the end, but let's check these some other options here. Let's click on the explain button. So when you click on this explain tab here, so it gives you that you can explain the chart or explain the code. So if I just click on this, it will simply generate your explanation, and let's see that what you get. Yeah, so it successfully generated the explanation, and let's see. So it is talking about the, first of all, accessibility. The chart is scatter plot with the plot sepal length versus on axis, and this, then this data points are colored based on variety of flower. The goal of the chart is to visualize the relationship between sepal length and petal width for different varieties of flowers. The main insights from the chart are the patterns and the trends of the relationship between sepal length and petal length. And so, like, it's a decent enough answer. Then transformation, there is no transformation is applied, so it is says that it is none. And visualization is, again, it is explaining the same code. Yep, so it is telling you about the same code here itself. So that is the basics that it has done. Now let's look and click on the evaluate tab here, and let's see what we have there. So use the evaluate visualization button below to self-evaluation scores for the chart. So let's see what we get. So actually it is going to evaluate the piece of code that is given here, and let's see that what it gives you. So you can see that it is giving you a code, like again, a representation here, and you can see that it is trying to analyze the data or the code here with respect to bugs, transformation, compliance, type, and encoding and aesthetics. And it is also giving itself a self rating. So if you click on any one of them, so you can see that it will try to focus on that area. If there is any bug here, so if you click on auto repair chart, so it will repair it for you. I think it should be visible here. Yep, I hope you can see now. So isn't it great, right? So this is very interesting. Now let's say if you want some recommendation here. So if I click on recommend, so and click on generate recommendation. So what it will do, it will generate some similar charts. So let's see this. So it might take some time because it's generating a recommendation here, and it will try to produce some more graph. So it's great, right? See here. So it is able to generate some similar recommendation, and sometime it might not work because I was trying it before. So this here the images are not present, but right now luckily while recording it is there, so it's good. Thank you for this. So right now you can see that it is now if you just look at the code, so it is plotting petal length and petal width, and it's trying to plot line plot here. Then we have box plot. So, and even it is giving you that what is the relationship, that what it is trying to identify here. So now let's say look into this one, then how does the length of petal vary across different varieties? So what it does is it is taking petal length and then setosa, versicolor, and virginica, and it is trying to plot a box plot so that it can show you that what is the like distribution, how they are distributed for petal length, and that is with respect to every category. Now same thing if you just look into this. So here it is doing the histogram plot of these three varieties, and they're trying to, again they're doing the stacked histogram plot here. Like it's a good representation here. So in the same way, you can see it has given you multiple recommendations. That is even better. So isn't it a very like really great tool? It will solve a lot of issues, right? Like I used to think, because frankly speaking, I do not like this data visualization, but I don't know why, but I am more towards deep learning, and I'm not much into this, but this I used to feel like a headache, but nowadays I think it will be a job easier with this kind of tools. And yeah, it depends upon like person to person, like what they like and what they not. So please don't judge me with that. And so that was a quick demo of LIDA. Now let me tell you that okay, how you can set up all this at the backend. Right now this is just a like I wanted to explore this tool for you and just show you that okay, what is it capable of. So let me click on this about LIDA again, and if you just scroll down slightly, so it will show you that the code on GitHub. So if you click on this, so you will land up on their GitHub page where they have some instruction that what you can do, and they have some of the code as well, some examples. They are also telling you that okay, what you should do, like you should install using pip install LIDA. Then you can export your open API key, or if you're using any other LLM, so you can export their API key, and then after that you can run this web UI by using this LIDA UI space -- port, and you can specify the port and then docs. So once you start running this, so it will simply run it on the localhost 8080, and you can see this as well is running at localhost 8080. Now the same thing you can perform using Jupyter Notebook as well, but this is a better visualization what I believe. But yes, even you can use it in Colab as well as in your local Jupyter Notebook as well. So apart from that, if you click on this notebooks here, so they have some demo notebooks which you can follow. So they have some setup here. You can just go through this, but I will also provide you that how you can do the setups locally so that you can do it on your own. So let me get back to my GitHub page. Now, before I jump into my GitHub page, I will also show you that, okay, if you want to read about this paper, so you can click on this read paper and it will lead you to this, their original paper. And if you want to go in depth, so you can definitely read this PDF. But they have already given you some basic insight about this. So as per your wish, like if you want to go in depth, so you can definitely read the paper. Otherwise, experiment more with this tool. So right now I just created a GitHub repository and I've used my base repo template. So now what I can do is I'm simply copy this link to this repository, and I will clone it to my local repository or locally on my system. So right now I'm at, if you just look, so I have created demo folder where I have data as well as .env file present, which is actually going to contain my OpenAI API key. For this, I also have a tutorial where like how to use this. So I will put a reference for that if you are not aware about it. Now let me just clone this repository, clone it. So I will going to open some terminal here, and so I'll use this command git clone. Yep, so it's already cloned. Now before I open that, or let me also close it. So I will just simply cut this and paste it here in my repo that I just cloned. Now let's open this in VS Code. So I'll simply open with VS Code, right? So once you download this, the first thing that you can do is open a terminal. So I will just simply press git control tilde, and then this terminal will open. And I'm going to use git bash as a default terminal. You can choose whatever you wish. And first thing that you can do here is you can just check the requirements first of all. So requirements has all the basic thing that I need. And here I will add LIDA. So that is one extra requirement that you need to add. And you can drop TQDM if you wish. It's not required. That's all. That's all we will be using. So we will be using Jupyter Notebook. So that's why I kept it. Now let's close this. And now we are left with the data as well as init setup.sh. It contains nothing. It was just going to create a 3.9 Python environment, that is Conda environment, and then it will activate and install the requirements. So let's do that. For that, I will simply write bash and then init setup.sh. So this will automatically create the environment and it will install the setup. By the time this is going on, I will also create some notebooks here. So let me create a notebook here in the root itself. So let's wait till this get installed. So right now it is asking for that whether I should set a new environment based on the environment that I just created for this workspace. So I will just check yes. So let's utilize the time till this libraries are getting installed. So what I will do is I will commit the changes as of now. So we have these changes and I have some two data set, that is housing.csv and iris.csv. So yeah, I have shown you some demo on iris already. So next demo we will see it on housing.csv. So let me commit these changes. Although we should not commit the data on your on our GitHub repository, but since it's a very small data and it's for demo purpose only, so that's why I'm committing this. So let's sync the changes so that it will reflect on our remote repository. So by the time this is still getting installed, I have updated the README as well. So let me show you the preview. So I have added some important links to you guys, like official documentation paper and GitHub repository. So you can definitely check out for more example. Next is like if you want to install a LIDA, so you can simply use it or install it as a Python package. So pip install LIDA is a very simple command which will help you to get started. Now apart from that, let's say if you want to run its user interface, so you can simply export your OpenAPI key, or if you're using any other keys, like say Cohere and Hugging Face and all, so it is supporting all those as well. So definitely check the documentation. But since I have OpenAI API key and it is very it's very common. So if you have your free trial left, so definitely give it a try with OpenAI as well. Next, once it is done, so after that you can simply run LIDA space UI and then you just specify the port and then hyphen documentation. So it will just run the user interface for you guys. But if you don't want this way, so you can simply I will create one bash script which will automatically do all this for you. So run and then let's say lida.sh. So I have already created it. So let me paste the code here. So let me explain you quickly. So what I'm doing is just first of all, I'm just echoing the start with the timestamp, and then I'm just getting the environment variables and running the LIDA. So and here I'm just running the Python code. So Python code, if you want to run it in let's say in your command line, so what you can do is you can just write Python -c, and in the quotes you can write your Python code. So let's say if you have multiple lines of code, so what you can do is you can just separate them with this semicolons. Okay. So right now you can see that we have what I've done is I have just imported load.n from .n, that is python.n library. And then after that, I'm just loading the environment variable, which will simply pick up the OpenAI API key from my .n file, which is present here locally. And then I will just simply import operating system. And then I'm just running the os.system. So in os.system, you can actually run any of the any command line, or I'm sorry, like you can simply run any commands there. Okay, so I'm just running the same command. You can see that I have just shown you into my README. And then after that, I will just simply echo the end. So that's all. So I will just save it. And once this is installed, then I will simply run this and it will start my user interface for LIDA. So finally, the installation is now complete. So let's run our bash script. So I'll simply write bash and then run lida.sh. So you will see it has started. And now as you can see, it is saying that UVCon running on this location. So let me click on this. So now you can see the same user interface that I have showed you before. And now let's say if it is too bright for you, you can even click on the dark mode as well. So it will just convert into dark mode and everything as it is that I was showing you initially. Okay. So now let's go to the demo part here. And then again, I will just simply click on this and we can just upload or drag and drop the data that we want. So right now we have we have seen the example of iris.csv. So let's see the example of housing.csv. So if I just click on this and I can go to the desktop and in demo part, let's go to the data section and let's click on housing. So as soon as I do this, you will see that it is quickly provide me these samples here. So again, you can see it has longitude, latitude, total rooms, and so, and it is also generating summary as of now. And if you want to see any of the summary basics, so you can just click on samples as well, and you can even check that they have their unique values, maximum and minimum, and so on. Now it has just explored the 5 goals, top 5 goals, and it is what are the goals. The goals are what is the distribution of housing median age, what is the relationship between median income and median house value, what is the distribution of total rooms, and so on. So you can see that it is quickly at least found out that these are the 5 goals that it should work on, and now it is generating the first visualization, that is the what is the distribution of housing median age. So let's wait for it, and let's let it generate that. Now this time what we will do is we will try to verify as well that whether the code that is being printed here, is it working as well or not. So yep. So right now you can see that it has generated the plot here, and this is the code that it has gave. So if you click on this, so it will even, you can zoom in and you can just visualize. So it says that what is the distribution of housing median age, and this is how it is plotted. Now let's click OK, and then just copy this, and let's see in your local Jupyter notebook. So I have created already demo notebook, right? So let me close this or terminal, and I will now simply paste the code and see that if it is actually working or not, and just to verify, because you cannot totally trust on LLMs. Sometimes they generate a wrong code. So right now it is, you can see that it is expecting that I should provide it data already. So let me also import the data here, and also let's so let's just simply again import pandas as PD, and then supply the path to the data. So that will be inside data slash, and then it is housing.csv, and then we have the data is equals to pd.read_csv, and then the path is this. Yeah, so it should, you can just check the data head. Now let's select the kernel first of all. So the kernel will be the default one, that is this current .env folder, and then let's run this. Okay, so you can see that the data is here. Now let's try to check if it is working, of the code that I copied, it is working or not. Yep, it is. So you can see that it is plotting the graph that we were expecting. Now let's go back to the UI here. Now, even if you just, let's say, click or change anything, let's say if I just want to make the name of the data to be, let's say, housing. So what I will do is I will simply copy this, and I will say that change this to housing data frame. Let's see that whether it is able to do that or not. So let's run this, because I'm expecting to modify the chart here. Let's see, because sometime it may be possibility, right, that taking the variable name as data, you might use housing underscore data frame. So you can see that it has even given you that, right? So it is even it is reading the data as housing data frame, and then it has changed here. Okay, now after that it is saying that data is already contains here, contains the data to be plotted. So after that you should not add any extra code. So right now you can see that up till this code it is going to work absolutely fine. You don't have to add the last line. So you can see that even these changes that you want, so this can be added later on as well. So let me clear this chat history here. And now let's say if you want to check any other code here, so you can definitely check. So what is the distribution of ocean proximity, and let's say if I go for some other options, yeah, median income and median house value, let's see the relationship between this is some relevant information. So let's click on that. So you can see that it is showing you the relationship between the median age, median income, and median house value, and it seems fine, right? So in this way, that you can see that it is almost a very useful tool, and definitely it is as the time passes, it will definitely get improved. Now let's say if I have to do the similar stuff but using just only Jupyter notebook, so let's see that how we can do it. So since in the notebook I haven't initialized my OpenAI API key here, so I have to first of all load the environment variable here. So for that I will be using this code. So this will simply import my Open API key here, and then I will, so data is already uploaded here. So let's see that, okay, what you can do with the LIDA. So LIDA is here, I'm using as the package, and I'm calling this manager class and then LLM methods. So here in the manager class, you have to specify that what text generator you are using, and then it will be an LLM, and then you have to specify that what you're going to use, like Palm or Cohere also you can use. I'm just using OpenAI here. So this will initialize your manager. And now what I will do is I will simply, let's say I want to create a summary here of my data. So I will write summary is equals to LIDA.summarize. Now if I do so I will just have to specify that where the data is located. So let's say my data is at the data folder in housing.csv. And if I simply print the summary or just simply outcome the summary here. So let's see. So you can see it is going to return me the same JSON file, and it is talking about like fields. What are the fields we have? Then like these are the fields. And now let's say if you want to identify some goals. So what are the goals that I should work on? Like the same user interface that we have used. So I will simply write here LIDA dot goals, and I will provide the summary to it. And then you can just specify the number of goals. Let's say I'm just going for 3 goals. In the user interface, it shows 5 as a default one. Now after that, I will simply write, let's say pd.data frame, and then I will pass on the goals, the outcome we have. So let's see that what we get. So based on the summary, that means the basic summary that we have got as a JSON, that is what are the field names, what are the minimum, maximum value of it, what are the samples out of it, what are the unique values, and so on. So based on that information, it is trying to provide you some goals. So what are the goals that it has identified? Let's see. So it has identified that question, like what is the distribution of median housing median age? What is the relationship between median income? And so what is the distribution of population? And then visualization, what it is going to do is that histogram of, it is going to plot a histogram of housing median age, scatter plot of median age, and so an histogram of population. So that is what its visualization is. And then simply you can also read about rationale. So what it tells. So it is going to explain that as well. Like this tells about the age distribution of house. This helps you identify if there is a correlation between the median age and so on. So yeah, so that is also a good thing, right? So it tries to identify the goals on its own, but you can even provide your own goals. Next is, let's say if you want to visualize it. So in order to visualize the, let's say, first goal, so what you can do is you have to from lida.utils, you have to import plot underscore roster or plot raster. Why? Because like it is actually returning a type which is raster, and that is only being plotted here. So it's not like just simple matplotlib. So let me show you that what I'm trying to speak here. So charts is equals to, I will use lida dot visualization or visualize, and here we will simply provide the summary, and then goal is equals to, let's say the first goal that I'm talking about here. So goal 0, and that is actually it's plural, that is goals. So this will provide you the outcome of the charts. Let's see that, okay, what kind of outcome that we get here. Now, so you can see that it is going to be a list of some chart executor response. That is, again, it's a class here. Then it has spec, status, raster. So we just have to get this value. So let's copy it here, and then since it's the first value, that is charts in 0, so we will get this. And then inside that, if I just write raster dot raster, so it will give you this string values. And now what I will do, I will simply pass it on this to plot raster. So if I do this, it will simply plot me the same graph that I was showing, like I was getting there. So this is how you can like experiment with the like LIDA as a package. But I definitely like the user interface that they have provided, and it also provides the code as well. So that will be easier for me to use, but it depends like how you want to use it. So that is up to you. And now for the more information, definitely you can check out the notebooks. So I will also put that link into the readme section, so you can definitely check their notebooks. And if I come up with something new apart from this, I will definitely post a new video on that. So till then, I hope you like this video. So till then, keep on learning and keep on exploring. Thank you all.